Welcome to the Tech Mobility Podcast.
I'm Ken Chester. On the docket, my impressions of the 2025 Acura MDX Type S SUV, humans need not apply, and a sewer system filled with crocodilians, bats, and raccoons. Oh my! To join the conversation, be it to ask a question, share an opinion, or even suggest a topic for future discussion, call or text the Tech Mobility Hotline. That number, 872-222-9793, or you can email the show directly, talk@techmobility.show. Be sure to follow, like, and subscribe to us on social media. Our YouTube channel and our two podcasts, the Tech Mobility Podcast and Tech Mobility Topics. From the Tech Mobility News Desk, I want to talk about the Lucid Gravity SUV. Yes, I know, it's $94,000, and the least expensive one is almost $80,000. But I can tell you, Lucid always goes, in terms of coming to market, with cutting edge or leading tech that leads the market. Let me take you back for a minute. The Lucid Air sedan that they introduced, I got a chance to drive, leads the industry at its efficiency. It gets 5 miles per kilowatt hour, which allows it to get over 500 miles of range between charges. There's only one vehicle that's even remotely close, and it's still a special product from the main, and it is a Tesla Model S Plaid. Nobody else yet comes close at that level. Closest is the Chevrolet Silverado EV. It gets 450 miles. So it's still roughly 60 miles short of what the Lucid Air gets. Like I told you before, I still believe that this is a moving target, that right now a lot of the new EVs coming to market are 300 miles-ish. I don't think they're quite there yet. I think they're going to need to be closer to 450, and maybe even 500 is the norm. And the reason why I know that's happening, we've reported here that Toyota is developing a solid-state EV battery pack, the first one due next year, that will do 600 miles of range. And by the end of the decade, they expect to have a battery pack capable of 1,000 miles between charges. 1,000 miles. What the Lucid Gravity does, which is pretty cool, I want to just share some of this stuff. Okay, they got 450 miles of range, which is better than most. 400 kilowatt fast charging. And here's the part. Access to 20,000 of Tesla's superchargers without the need for an adapter. Meaning that if you own a Lucid Gravity and you're out on the road, you can tap into the most reliable and plentiful and available EV charging system in the United States right now, which happens to be the Tesla supercharger network. Their uptime is superior. The availability, usually there are 6 or 8 charging stations as opposed to the 2 or 4 that other folks are building right now. So the chances of you having to wait are slim. The ability to charge quickly is great. The uptime is already documented to be outstanding. And you don't need an adapter. Let me continue. The Lucid Gravity's innovative powertrain supports charging rates that enable a 200-mile charge in less than 12 minutes. So if you're in a hurry, you're stopping for something, and typically about the time, in fact, a little less than the time it would take you to gas up, you can get 200 miles of range and keep stepping. So you're only having to stop every 200 miles if that's what you want to do. If you're willing to spend a little longer, like say, break for dinner, then you get the full charge. 12 minutes. I've reported here that there's technology under development right now to get that time down to 5 minutes. To get 10% to 80% in 5 minutes. regardless of vehicle. Their advanced technology is a very high voltage, proprietary 926 volt powertrain and a Panasonic enhanced battery, which maintains high efficiency and long service life. They claim this will hold 7 adults and, key here, ample luggage space. The only other vehicle I've seen do this is the Toyota TL. The only one I've seen do it right now that can get that done with ample luggage space. Key word being ample. Here's something else. Bidirectional charging. And what that means is the vehicle can charge something else. 80 amps at 19.2 kilowatts, along with the ability to charge other EVs using the optional Range X charge cable. You got a buddy that's out in the wilderness, they're stuck, they need a little juice, you can help them out. You can charge them. They're not stuck. Like so many other EV manufacturers right now, Lucid's Gravity is a rear-wheel drive unit. They got the motor in the back. Their argument is it gives better weight to control distribution and better handling. And it lets them adjust and modify the suspension system in ways that optimize everything, as opposed to being front-wheel drive or all-wheel drive. 2 point, their battery pack is one of the biggest at 123 kilowatt hours. That's a big battery pack. That's along the lines of what you would expect to find in a Hummer EV. It's pretty close to what the Hummer's running and probably what the Ford's running, the Ford F-150 Lightning. So it's a big one. But the ability to get 200 miles in 12 minutes, that's huge. Now, fairness. The first model they're coming out with is the Grand Touring, and it's almost $100,000. Yes, I know, it's pricey. But like any other technology that the auto industry has ever invented, they started with the high-priced cars, and it worked its way down to the expensive cars. Bear this in mind. 30 years ago, you might remember a technology called StabiliTrak. StabiliTrak was stability control. GM brought it out first and foremost on Cadillacs, and it was a number of years before that trickled down in other products in the GM product line. Now we all have it. My Equinox has it, and they don't, since it's not special anymore, they don't market it as StabiliTrak, but I have stability control, as well as traction control. Standard in my 2018 Chevy Equinox LT. It is not a top-of-the-line vehicle. But it took some time. According to the Insurance Institute for Highway Safety, they say new safety features on average, from the time they're introduced to the time they get to the tipping point of a majority of the vehicles on the road, it's 20 years. So StabiliTrak, yeah. Same you could say right now for Super Cruise, which GM also offers. Again, where did they introduce it? They introduced it in their most expensive vehicles. In due time, you can expect Super Cruise probably in the next 10 to 15 years to make it all the way down across everything that GM is selling. That is standard for the industry. So Lucid isn't doing anything that the industry has not done and is not doing. But I wanted to share the Gravity, and I really hope I get a chance to drive one. I am so tickled. I'm looking forward to it. Before we go to break, let me share this right quick. I don't know if you've heard of the Volkswagen ID.7. It's a stylish sedan. I got a chance to interact with it actually 2 years ago in California. I've got pictures of the thing. They're not going to bring it to the United States. It was supposed to go on sale last year. And even as late as last fall, they were talking about it being part of the lineup, but they've decided to pull it. It's not coming to the United States and Canada. But I want to let you know it's being sold in Europe and China right now. But as EV adoption rates in the United States have slowed across the industry, consumers being hesitant over pricing, charging infrastructure, and range, Volkswagen said, maybe bringing a sedan, an EV sedan in the United States, not the best idea right now. And it's too bad because it was a really sharp car. Didn't get a chance to drive it. Was really hoping I could. But yeah, I've got pictures of the thing and wanted to share with you, those of y'all that follow this kind of stuff. The ID.7 is not coming. They're still selling the ID4, the ID Buzz, which is their EV rendition, modern rendition of the old Volkswagen bus. That's amazing. I've sat in one. I've taken pictures of one. Haven't driven one yet. Next up, my review of the 2025 Acura MDX Type S SUV. Talk about fast. You are listening to the Tech Mobility Show.
Are you tired of juggling multiple apps and platforms for meetings, webinars, and staying connected? Look no further than AONmeetings.com, the all-in-one browser-based platform that does it all. With AON Meetings, you can effortlessly communicate with clients, host virtual meetings and webinars, and stay in touch with family and friends, all in one place and for one price. Here's the best part. You can enjoy a 30-day free trial. It's time to simplify your life and boost your productivity. AONmeetings.com, where innovation meets connection. Get started today and revolutionize the way you communicate.
Social media is the main place to be these days, and we are no exception. I'm Ken Chester, the Tech Mobility Show. If you enjoy my program, then you will also enjoy my weekly Facebook videos. From my latest vehicle reviews to timely commentary of a variety of mobility and technology-related topics, these short features are designed to inform and delight you. Be sure to watch, like, and follow us on Facebook. You can find us by typing the Tech Mobility Show in the search bar. Be sure to subscribe to our Facebook page. Social media is the place to be these days, and we're no exception. I'm Ken Chester of the Tech Mobility Show. If you enjoy my program, then you will also enjoy my weekly Instagram videos. From the latest vehicle reviews to timely commentary on a variety of mobility and technology-related topics, these short features are designed to inform and delight you. Be sure to watch, like, and follow us on Instagram. You can find us by typing the Tech Mobility Show in the search bar. For those of you that listen to podcasts, we have just the one for you. Hi, I'm Ken Chester. Tech Mobility Topics is a podcast where I upload topic-specific videos each week. Shorter than the full show, these bite-sized programs are just the thing, particularly if you're interested in a particular topic covered on the weekly radio show. From Apple Podcast to iHeartRadio and many podcast platforms in between, we got you covered. Just enter Tech Mobility Topics in the search bar wherever you listen to podcasts.
The ultimate driving machine. What a luxury car should be. Engineered like no other car in the world. A car you can believe in. These days, it seems that every luxury automaker has some sort of impressive slogan. But there's one claim that makes all the others seem insignificant. A claim that no automaker but Acura is entitled to make. Number one in customer satisfaction, 3 years in a row.
I want to point out that that was 1990. 1990. That Acura could say that. Couple of things. The Acura Legend was actually the first upscale Japanese car in the American marketplace. So let me give you a little context. Acura, in case you didn't know, is the upmarket nameplate for Honda, and it was launched in March 1986. It was tasked with the development, manufacturing, and sale of luxury and performance vehicles. From its jaw-dropping NSX exotic sports coupe of the 1990s, and I stop right here. I remember when it came out, the local dealer had a red one in the middle of the showroom floor, would not let anybody drive it. And I remember sitting in that car with my young son in my lap. It would be over 30 years before I got to drive one. And about 3 years ago, I actually got to drive a 1991 NSX. Amazing car still. On top of that, its various performance and luxury coupes, sedans, and SUVs over the years, it's hard to remember that Acura actually predates Lexus by 3 years in the American marketplace. In fact, it's Acura's success with its first flagship vehicle, the Legend sedan, that inspired Toyota and Nissan to launch their own luxury brands, Lexus and Infiniti. And for those of you history buffs that may be paying attention, you might also recall that Mazda had kicked around the idea of launching an upscale luxury brand in the late 1980s called Amati, but they decided not to go forward due to a financial squeeze brought on by the collapse of the Japanese economy in 1992. So actually, Amati did live for about 4 years, But as far as U.S. branding, as far as U.S. dealerships, as far as U.S. models, that didn't happen. And the vehicles that were going to be labeled Amaris got relabeled as Mazdas. Thought you'd like to know that. In 2000, 25 years ago, Acura introduced its first all-original SUV, the MDX. The moniker stands for multi-dimensional luxury. The production models of the MDX debuted for the 2001 model year. The fourth and current generation of the MDX was introduced in January 2021 for the 2022 model year. The performance-oriented Type S variant was introduced in December 2022. The MDX also became the flagship model of the Acura Marquis following the discontinuation of the RLX midsize luxury sedan in 2020. Now, while the 2025 Acura MDX is available in 6 models, this review is just about the top-of-the-line Type S Advanced model. Has a different engine, slightly different attributes. We're going to talk about that. The power for the Type S is generated by a 3-liter gasoline V6 turbo, which generates 355 horsepower and 354 foot-pounds of torque, which is significantly more than the base engine. Power is communicated via a 10-speed automatic transmission controlled by sequential sport shift paddle shifters to all 4 wheels. The MDX Type S comes standard with the automaker's legendary super handling all-wheel drive system. EPA fuel economy numbers are 17 city, 21 highway. Cargo capacity is 71.4 cubic feet from behind the front seat. Towing capacity is 5,000 pounds. What did I like about the vehicle? Where do I even begin? Built at Honda's East Liberty, Ohio manufacturing complex, the 2025 Acura MDX projects a large, bold, and impressive image. The driver notices almost immediately its bank vault solid construction combined with Japanese bulletproof reliability. Underway, the Type S is bold, muscular, and it's fast. A dynamic mode knob offers the driver a variety of drive settings: lift, snow, comfort, normal, and sport, along with an automatic adjustment of vehicle height, depending on the driving mode selected for optimum performance. And despite its size and heft, I found the Type S delivers effortless motoring at speed. It's easy to drive and handle. Beefy Brembo Acura disc brakes allow the driver to bring the large SUV to a safe stop. The motorist enjoys a commanding view of the road. Impressively enough, the Type S also has a low step-over height that facilitates entry and exit. This 3-row, 7-passenger SUV has second-row captain's chairs that feature a fore and aft adjustment designed to provide more legroom as needed for third-row passengers. Second-row passengers enjoy heated seating and separate climate controls, while both the second and third-row occupants have access to USB ports and cup holders. A panoramic sunroof adds to the airiness of the already large cabin. Second and third row seats fold flat with the cargo floor, and you know that's a major thing with me. The Acura MDX Type S is equipped with self-sealing tires. Here's what I didn't like about the vehicle. Because of its performance bent, the MDX Type S is not equipped with all-weather, and I did not say all-season tires. Let me stop right here. All-weather tires are exactly that, all-weather. You can run them as snow tires, you can run them in the spring, you can run them in the mud, you can run them wherever. All-season tires, as I've always said, and I say now, is a sad compromise for a tire. It tries to do everything and does nothing well. I have a problem with that. Particularly on a vehicle with this much capability, I would really love some tires that allow the vehicle to come into its fullness. The only way that's going to happen is you're going to need a second set of tires, particularly if you're going to live in a climate where there's snow, rain, mud, or whatever. If you're not in the Southwest or South, you're going to need a second set of tires, and that's going to be expensive. Here's another thing. There are no hand grips in the A or B pillars to facilitate entry and exit. And yes, I know. I said that the step over height is low. But if you're trying to get to the rear seat, you need that little extra oomph to get back there. And it doesn't have it. Here's another thing that I think was an oversight. The split third row seat is not powered. And what I mean, if you're coming to the back to the cargo area and you need extra room, it's great to be able to hit a couple buttons, knock those seats down, and have the space. The MDX doesn't do that. You're going to need to actually physically maneuver those. So if you're coming with a handful or a bunch of stuff that you need the extra room, you're going to have to put that down, fool with the seats, and then load. Not okay. Most vehicles at this price point have this kind of thing. So, bottom line, big, bold, and beautiful. Equipped with so much technology, it should rank its own review. The Acura MDX Type S is for those who value both luxury and performance, safety and convenience, and technology, coupled to utter reliability. And if this describes you, then your MDX is waiting. Be sure to tell them that Ken Chester sent you. The base manufacturer's suggested retail price for the 2025 Acura MDX Type S SUV starts from $74,950. Destination charges add $1,350. And the only thing on my vehicle that was extra cost was the urban gray exterior paint, and that cost another $600, the sticker price. Humans need not apply. An AI startup seeks to hire an AI agent. That's next. This is the Tech Mobility Show. Do you listen to podcasts? Seems that most people do. Hi, I'm Ken Chester, host of the Tech Mobility Show. If you've missed any of our weekly episodes on the radio, our podcast is a great way to listen. You can find the Tech Mobility Podcast just about anywhere you can enjoy podcasts. Be sure to follow us. From Apple Podcasts to iHeartRadio and many platforms in between, we are there. Just enter the Tech Mobility Podcast in the search bar wherever you listen to podcasts. Social media. It's the place to be, and we're no exception. Hi, I'm Ken Chester, host of the Tech Mobility Show. Several times a week, I post to TikTok several of the topics that I cover on my weekly radio show. It's another way to keep up on mobility, technology, news, and information. I've built quite a library of short videos for your viewing pleasure, so be sure to watch, like, and subscribe. That's the Tech Mobility Show on TikTok. Check it out. Firecrawl, a tiny tech startup in the famed Y Combinator business incubator in California, posted a want ad recently on the organization's job board for an AI agent with a starting salary of $10,000 to $15,000 a year. Problem is, this ad was not for a human. Needless to say, it went viral, and the rest is history. Is this the future? This is Topic B. There's been a lot of debate and a lot of conversation about the evolution of AI, the evolution of all these technologies, machine learning, large language models, all this stuff coming together in increasing ways that look at just way more data than any human being could even begin to put their arms around. Finding patterns, finding routines, finding trends, and then making suggestions or an plan of action. And all this is going on. This company did this for real. And the quote was, please apply only if you are an AI agent or if you created an AI agent that can fill the job. This startup only has 7 people in it. And it was looking for an AI agent to autonomously research trending models and build sample apps to showcase the company's product. The job offered a salary, as I mentioned earlier. That salary is a fraction of what a human developer makes. But I guess it's good money for an entity that doesn't need food, clothing, or shelter. And to be honest, the ad was not a joke. They talked to TechCrunch, and they said it was equal parts PR stunt experiment. We are currently looking for incredible AI engineers, humans who are good at building AI systems. And we thought, let's put a posting out there for an AI agent and see what people build. Firecrawl, this little company, makes open source web crawling bot for AI agents and models. Businesses can use it to gather training data or whenever their AI has to interact with the public websites to perform. Yeah. Excuse me. AI web crawlers are a necessary yet somewhat controversial part of the internet these days, especially for small businesses. And I'm looking at the ad itself. So let me read the ad itself. I read that part. Remote, location, remote, job type, contract, experience, any, new grads. Okay. About the role. Please apply if you're an AI agent or created an AI agent that can fill the job. Role overview. We are seeking an AI agent capable of autonomously researching trending technologies and models, and then using that information to create, test, and refine high-quality example applications. These sample apps will live in our firewall/examples repository, showcasing the full potential Firecrawl in real-world scenarios. Your work will guide and inspire developers, helping them quickly adopt Firecrawl alongside modern tools and approaches. Is this the beginning of the end? Have we gotten to a place where more and more tech companies will actually be putting out ads for the technology and not the people to write them? Will AI get to a point uniformly where you don't need the human, that it will take this information and go to the next level in ways that are even more efficient, quicker, faster, cheaper than a human being? What happens when you get to that threshold? If the average human developer right now for AI makes well into the six figures, if AI can cut that by a factor of 10, get it all the way down, what's to stop it from being even less than this in the future? What's to stop this technology in 10 to 15 years being a commodity just like websites are now? Folks used to make big money building just a sample page, a web page, and putting it out there in the net. Now it's a commodity that most companies that host websites give away. Are we heading for that? And if so, what's it say about us? We now have humans writing ads for AI that will replace humans. What happened to 3 rules safe? Where are we going? Folks are concerned about the dystopian nature of this AI future. And asked aloud, we're in the simulation, aren't we? Can you imagine that you could write an AI system that does the work for you? You get paid, you design it to work for you. You don't have to work. Yikes. Yikes. That's scary. Let me quote this. This is where we are headed. You don't apply for a job, you make the appropriate AI agent that applies for the job and earns for you. One person commented on an X post. Is this the end of the dream? Have we gotten to a point, or are we at the tipping point where the rise of these AI agents, as we've tried to define this in pieces before? I've done a piece on what an AI agent is, and it's basically the difference between the blunt force of actually doing it without reference or context to a system that has reference and context relative to draw an apple. Okay, to understand what the apple is, and everything about it, and the importance and what it should look like and everything about it. Basically, the nuance that a human being has. We're pushing that logic. We're pushing that technology. We're allowing these systems to scrape our minds, really, and get this information, scrape our knowledge base and get this information and import it in a concentrated way to where it is faster, wiser, quicker, more efficient, more accurate, when it's not hallucinating, by the way. Where does human curation come into this? Because right now, Firecrawl couldn't find, of the 50 applications they did get, they did not find one that was up to their level. Not yet. But then again, ChatGPT has only been around for a little less than 3 years. And look at what it's wrought. And in less than 3 years, it's been upstaged already by DeepSeek, which was developed for a fraction of that. And if you don't think DeepSeek's going to get upstaged at some point in the future, you're mistaken. This is Moore's Law in double time. And in case you don't remember what Moore's Law was, it was talking about the speed of computer chips, which doubled every 18 months. That was Moore's Law from Gordon Moore of Intel. Are we dealing with a revised version of Moore's Law as it applies to AI and all the technologies and models and systems and algorithms that go into it? You've just seen the first ad for a non-human to do AI work. Unfortunately, it won't be the last. And what happens the day when you're not needed at all? When the ad actually starts with, humans need not apply at all for a wide variety of jobs. AI's humming, and it's taken all this power. DeepSeek showed how to do it for way less money, which means it's going to get way crazy efficient really, really soon. Where are the guardrails, and where does that leave us as human beings, consumers, and dwellers on this planet? Bats, raccoons, and crocodiles in the sewer. Oh my. Nope, not New York. We explain what researchers found next. We are the Tech Mobility Show. To learn more about the Tech Mobility Show, start by visiting our website. Hi, I'm Ken Chester, host of the Tech Mobility Show. The website is a treasure trove of information about me and the show, as well as where to find it on the radio across the country. Keep up with the happenings at the Tech Mobility Show by visiting techmobility.show. That's techmobility.show. You can also drop us a line at talk@techmobility.show. Did you know that Tech Mobility has a YouTube channel? Hi, I'm Ken Chester, host of the Tech Mobility Show. Each week, I upload a few short videos of some of the hot topics that I cover during my weekly radio program. I've designed these videos to be informative and entertaining. It's another way to keep up on current mobility and technology news and information. Be sure to watch, like, and subscribe to my channel. That's the Tech Mobility Show on YouTube. Check it out.
Are you tired of juggling multiple apps and platforms for meetings, webinars, and staying connected? Look no further than aonmeetings.com, the all-in-one browser-based platform that does it all. With AON Meetings, you can effortlessly communicate with clients, host virtual meetings and webinars, and stay in touch with family and friends, all in one place and for one price. Here's the best part. You can enjoy a 30-day free trial. It's time to simplify your life and boost your productivity. aonmeetings.com, where innovation meets connection. Get started today and revolutionize the way you communicate.
Social media is the place to be these days, and we're no exception. I'm Ken Chester of the Tech Mobility Show. If you enjoy my program, then you will also enjoy my weekly Instagram videos. From the latest vehicle reviews to timely commentary on a variety of mobility and technology-related topics, these short features are designed to inform and delight you. Be sure to watch, like, and follow us on Instagram. You can find us by typing the Tech Mobility Show in the search bar. When it comes to strange life in the sewers, most people think about big metropolitan cities like New York or Chicago. In actuality, researchers recently monitored a town in the South, and it monitored the storm drains and were surprised at what they discovered. This is Topic C. They found, in the storm drains in this town, they found crocodiles, bats, raccoons, and other creatures. They found upwards of 35 other species in the system. And if you're thinking it's some big city, hold on. Gainesville, Florida. Gainesville, Florida. They used motion sensors and cameras mounted to the underside of manhole covers to track what was going on. They suspected some stuff was going on, but they didn't know. What they did, the scientists outfitted motion-activated trail cameras with magnetic mounts and fastened them under manhole covers. Overall, 39 cameras were deployed in 33 storm drains. The cameras were left for over 60 days, but not all of them survived that long. Some were swept away by stormwater, while others were pilfered by bandits with sticky paws. That would be raccoons, by the way. That would be raccoons. Despite the raccoons' best effort, the team was able to recover most of the cameras, which recorded nearly 3,800 sightings of 35 animal species. I did say this was Gainesville, Florida. Gainesville, Florida. And this is over a period of 60 days. They weren't surprised. Possums, rats, they expected that. But they were surprised with tree frogs, armadillos, and get this, 12 different species of birds, including Carolina wrens. The small birds were observed in 6 different storm drains, occasionally with nesting material in tow. They found that mammals were the sewer's most common critters. And of course, raccoons were caught on camera more than 1,800 times. I'm not surprised. I live in a suburb of Des Moines, and I used to go to work early in the morning. And I was coming down the street in Altoona, Iowa, and I saw a family of raccoons come up out of a storm drain. I was incredulous. It was the middle of the night. Here they come. So I'm not surprised. 1,800 times they were caught on camera. Now, what would you think the second most spotted animal in Gainesville, Florida in a storm drain would be? You ready for this? Southeastern Myotis bats. They were observed nearly 700 times. These small bats use the sewers to forage for insects and appear to be roosting underneath the manholes, a first for the species. Couple of curveballs. Some larger species, like white-tailed deer and a bobcat, were recorded milling near the sewer entrances, but they didn't get in there. The only big mammal that made it in there was alligators, and they recorded 50 alligator sightings. Here's the kicker. Most appear to be using the sewers as throughways between the ponds. So they were using it as transportation to get through the urban infrastructure by using the urban infrastructure. But here's the surprising part. This is Florida. Gainesville is not southern Florida, by the way. So think about that for a minute. We're not in South Florida. They're up a ways, number one. Number two, Florida. You would expect more than anything, you would expect way more alligators. At least I would have. 50 compared to 1,800 raccoons and 700 bats in the storm drains. 12 different species of bird. Think about that. The team also observed the occasional alligator swimming towards a dead end on the hunt for fish. Ew. Fish in the storm drain. Okay. It is almost as if they were cornering the fish into the dead end and then using the human infrastructure to help them forage. While the scientists only studied the Gainesville area, they think similar species use storm water sewers in urban areas throughout Florida. Now, let me stop right here because I didn't clarify this at the top, and I need to. I did say storm drains, not sewer drains. And I may have confused you at first, so let me make this clear. A lot of cities have separated the sanitary sewer, which carries the waste, from the stormwater overflow. Reason being, back 50, 60 years ago, when they were both in the same, very often a hard rain or a flood would overwhelm the sanitary sewer and back that mess up, causing disease and all kinds of nasty. So many cities and towns have now separated the two. You've got the storm sewer system, which just carries rainwater and transports it so it doesn't flood, as opposed to the sanitary sewer system, which goes through a waste treatment plant and gets handled. We're talking about the storm sewer, just so we're clear. I didn't clear that at first, and I needed to because I didn't want you to be confused. And I thought about that the minute I thought about the fish. I said, oh, yeah, right, okay, let's clarify. They believe throughout Florida that this may be the case or worse. But then this article takes an interesting turn. And it talks about how during their study, It illustrates to the degree which urban animals have co-opted these human-made structures and explains how wild mammals, in another study, including black bears and moose, use underpasses like culverts to cross busy highways in a mountainous region of Quebec. That was a different study. Retrofitting these often submerged tunnels with dry pathways could make them more accessible to wildlife. We covered, maybe a year and a half ago, how in the mountains of Central California, just north of Los Angeles, they were building a wildlife crossing for mountain lions predominantly, so they would not get hit by cars or cars having accidents hitting them. As weather continues to get more extreme more often, researchers are looking for ways for human beings and human infrastructure to coexist as necessary with these mammals and animals and help them get from habitat to habitat safely so there aren't issues. And they talked about even these storm drains having some sort of ramp for certain animals like, I think, snakes and other small animals that get washed into the storm sewer but can't get out. They give them a chance to get out. The only issue I have with that, the only concern I have with that, is that when you facilitate that, are you facilitating a way for those who mean us harm to gain access in a way where they're undetected? I know. I'm sorry I even have to think about that, but I'm thinking about that. I mean, it's great to preserve wildlife and never the twain shall meet, but by the same token, any accommodation you make for them, you know, some enterprising person who wants to do something really bad can figure out how to make that work for them. That's my concern. But yeah, animals. We've come to the end of our visit. Be sure to join me again right here next time. This has been the Tech Mobility Show.
The Tech Mobility Show is a copywritten production of Tech Mobility Productions, Incorporated. Any rebroadcast, retransmission, or any other use is prohibited without the written consent of Tech Mobility Productions, Incorporated.
For those of you that listen to podcasts, we have just the one for you. Hi, I'm Ken Chester. Tech Mobility Topics is a podcast where I upload topic-specific videos each week. Shorter than the full show, these bite-sized programs are just the thing, particularly if you're interested in a particular topic covered on the weekly radio show. From Apple Podcast to iHeartRadio and many podcast platforms in between, we got you covered. Just enter Tech Mobility Topics in the search bar wherever you listen to podcasts. Social media. It's the place to be, and we're no exception. Hi, I'm Ken Chester, host of the Tech Mobility Show. Several times a week, I post to TikTok several of the topics that I cover on my weekly radio show. It's another way to keep up on mobility, technology, news, and information. I've built quite a library of short videos for your viewing pleasure, so be sure to watch, like, and subscribe. That's the Tech Mobility Show on TikTok. Check it out. To learn more about the Tech Mobility Show, start by visiting our website. Hi, I'm Ken Chester, host of the Tech Mobility Show. The website is a treasure trove of information about me and the show, as well as where to find it on the radio across the country. Keep up with the happenings at the Tech Mobility Show by visiting techmobility.show. That's techmobility.show. You can also drop us a line at talk@techmobility.show. Do you listen to podcasts? Seems that most people do. Hi, I'm Ken Chester, host of the Tech Mobility Show. If you missed any of our weekly episodes on the radio, our podcast is a great way to listen. You can find the Tech Mobility Podcast just about anywhere you can enjoy podcasts. Be sure to follow us. From Apple Podcasts to iHeartRadio and many platforms in between, we are there. Just enter the Tech Mobility Podcast in the search bar wherever you listen to podcasts.